All right, so that was my home last night, the Brink shelter. This is a real nice camping area. I've not seen a shelter of this design before, but it was a good one. I'm not sure how many miles I'm going to do today after doing 20. My feet are sore, but it'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 miles. There is a shelter, I believe, 12 miles from here, and then another one about 15. So that's what I'm going to aim for today. I don't mind taking the 12 if my feet really hurt, but I'm going to aim for the 15. So this is the trail this morning. As I mentioned, my feet are sore from the 20 miles I did yesterday. But this is a nice, soft trail. I don't know how long it's going to be like this, but Pennsylvania would not have afforded me a recovery day like today. Even if the trail gets rougher, at least to start off the day, this is very easy on my sore feet. Thank you, New Jersey. So far this morning, there hasn't been much by way of views. But this one's pretty nice. I've just begun the only significant climb of the day, at least as far out is concerned. It's about 1.5 miles. The general orientation is up. It's a climb after all. I'm sure there will be spots where it levels off, but yeah, 1.5 miles of up. These openings, while pretty, are very, very hot. Exposed, it's 80+ degrees. Even though the climb continues, it's going to be nice to be back in the shade. It's amazing how much you can feel the temperature drop from out there to in here. I mean, it's got to at least be, feel like a 5-6 degree difference, maybe even more than that. But it's much better in the shade.
So good morning. It is Memorial Day. It started raining a little bit before 6 a.m. It is supposed to rain all day, which is, I've hiked in rain before, but there is a possibility of thunderstorms, some of them severe. And the last thing I want to do is get caught in a severe thunderstorm. So I am debating whether to hunker down here and take a zero in basically a shelter all day. Would make for a very boring day for me. Or to try to shelter hop and try to avoid, really, really bad weather. It's still pretty early, so I don't really have to make a decision yet. But this may be the only video for today if I just stay here. We'll see what happens.
All right, so it is currently not raining, and the forecast says thunderstorms around 1 p.m. So I'm taking a chance, and there's a shelter in like 2.9 miles. There's a shelter 7.1. I'm aiming for 7.1. Now, what I actually tried to do was there is a hostel. Now, the pickup point is like 5 miles away. $40 for a bunk room, but it includes laundry, which is always good. So I texted, and unfortunately, they're full, which is not surprising considering what the weather is supposed to be later today. So, no clean and dry laundry for me, but whether it's the first shelter or the second shelter, we shall see. Who knows? This might be the view of the day. You can't see dark clouds moving about though. Quite pretty, but if you can hear the wind and you can see the clouds moving, there's definitely a storm on its way. And I have 4 miles to go. You want to move because you don't want to get stepped on. I'm not going to step on you, but someone else might. You got to get moving. This is the view from an observation deck at High Point State Park. It's cloudy and misty, so you don't get the full impact. But there's the reason why it's High Point State Park, the highest point in New Jersey. Well, I'm here in another shelter. I got here a little over an hour ago, and I was debating whether I should push on to the next shelter, which I think is something like 4 or 5 miles. I think I made the right decision to stay. It's supposed to do this for the rest of the afternoon. Short day today, 7.2 miles, but I believe I made the right decision. Good morning. So I'm about to admit a mistake. I'm in need of recharging my electronics, need a little bit more food, I need to give my body a rest. So I booked a hotel room in Vernon, New Jersey, which is about 20 miles ahead. So yeah, another 20-mile day. My mistake is that what I should have done was do a 15-mile day today, do a Nero of 5 miles tomorrow, have the rest of the day to do my chores, and then the day after, just a day of rest. It was a rookie mistake that I shouldn't have made, but I did. So I will do the 20 miles because I really have no choice. I will be absolutely exhausted when I get to the hotel. And tomorrow I'll have to do all my chores. Hey, live and learn. There were 3 other guys at the shelter last night. Salty, Walks Too Far, and Yard Sale. Salty and Yard Sale have been hiking since about 100 miles into the trail back in Georgia. They were planning a zero 100 miles out. And here, I miscalculate 20 miles out. Well, I'm a little over 300 miles into the hike. They're a little over 1,200 miles into the hike. Live and learn, live and learn. Oh my, what a nice view after a cloudy, rainy yesterday. Very pretty. Two seats in the middle of a field. And what would they be gazing out on? Yep, the trail's up there somewhere. You can see the white blaze. Okay, well, I'm at the top of that climb. And appropriately, I'm sitting on a rock resting. The rest of the trail, or at least from here, it looks normal. I mean, there will be ups and downs. But this was hopefully the worst climb of the day. I've got about 6 miles to the crossroads of Vernon, New Jersey. And then I'm not sure how much, I think it's like a mile road walk to the place where I'm taking a zero at. So, all things considered, although the day's not done yet, it wasn't the worst decision I ever made. Wasn't a great one, but it wasn't the worst one. So, gonna catch my breath for a moment, then I'm gonna hike on. In addition to being a nice view, see that obelisk in the distance? That's High Point. That's where I was yesterday. And this is how far I've come. Ladies and gentlemen, the famous New Jersey Boardwalk. Wait, what? New Jersey's famous for some other boardwalk? Never mind. So today was an interesting day. First off, I didn't get quite to 20 miles. The point to point on Far Out was 18.9 miles. But the reality is you do additional walking, so I did walk more than 20 miles today. I am at the Appalachian Motel in Vernon, New Jersey. To be honest with you, not my best choice. It is on a busy road. There is really not much around it. I had to walk about a mile or so on that busy road to get some things that I needed because of what happened to me today. Somewhere on the trail, I lost my ditty bag, which had in it mundane things like ibuprofen, Benadryl. It also had my glasses. Fortunately, I only need them to drive, and I'm not doing any driving now. It had all of my electronics, my wall plug, my various cables, my various adapters, my battery brick, things that I very much need, some other odds and ends that weren't essential. Let's put it this way, you don't need them until you need them. A sewing needle, for example, if I, tear something on my pack or clothing or what have you, the hiker way of mending things is to use floss to sew things together, but you have to have a needle in order to do that. So that's gone. I had a small roll of Leukotape, a small roll of duct tape. And duct tape helps, mend everything. So all of that is gone. Now I put a note in Far Out saying that I believed I lost it from a certain shelter where I took a break this afternoon up to Vernon, which is where I am now. And I discovered it was missing in my motel room when I went to plug things in to recharge them. That, by the way, is one of the reasons I didn't do a lot of videoing. I was down to like 12% on my phone while I was on trail. I didn't even know I didn't have my charging stuff until I got to the hotel. That's why I had to walk to first a Lukoil and then a CVS, where I bought a new memory bank, battery bank, cables, wall plug, and what have you. Not the kind of gear that I really necessarily want. The battery bank, I will keep that, but the other stuff I'm actually going to replace with the stuff that I had originally, which I've already ordered on Amazon. So it was an eventful day in not necessarily the best way. But to end the day on a good note, it was actually kind of cool. Even though I'm in New Jersey, because of the quirks of the trail, you know, the trail doesn't go in a straight line, it zigzags all over the place. And because of the boundary line, the border between New Jersey and New York, I actually hiked a little bit in New York today, Unionville, New York, to be precise. So though I'm not officially out of New Jersey yet, I did hike a little bit in New York today. So that was cool. So might as well end a not so good day on a pretty cool note. Tomorrow will be a zero. It's not going to be the best zero because, once again, there's not really much around here. I suppose I could, get an Uber to go someplace. I may end up doing that. I have to assess my food situation. I thought I was going to be able to do a resupply there. I mean, I still do have some stuff. We'll play it by ear tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a zero. There probably won't be a video because there's not really much going on here. But if the situation changes, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. I'm back on trail after, frankly, what wasn't the greatest zero. The motel was just, basic. It was fine. It was functional. It was a clean bed. But just having lost my electronics, my glasses, what have you, having to replace all that, well, some of that anyway, until I can get some better stuff, was a hassle. My own fault, but was a hassle nonetheless. And the motel was about 3 miles off trail, so with no shuttle. So I started to walk back this morning, and I want to give a very, 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 very big thank you to Trail Angel Cesar, who stopped and picked me up as I was hitchhiking back to the trail. So he saved me about 2.5 miles of additional walking that I would have had to do just to get on trail. But anyway, it's a new day. It's supposed to be a cool day, and I'm looking forward to that. So let's get going. Well, rock hopping will definitely be involved, and I hope I make it across dry. So I have crossed into New York. I didn't video it because there were a couple women there doing basically the same thing I was doing, taking pictures, straddling the New Jersey-New York line. I'm sure Maggie will insert the picture. But yeah, another state crossed off as I continue to move north. Not sure how many miles of New York are involved, but I do know in about a week's time I'll be in Connecticut. But for now, the Empire State awaits. This is the view from Prospect Rock. It's not the highest peak in New York, but it's the highest point of the AT in New York. What is that? off in the distance, believe it or not, that is the skyline of New York City. I understand at night it's really visible, and if it weren't so hazy it'd be a little clearer, but that's it. Trail or water source? How about both? Trail goes straight up. Climb the rebar. Fall number 2. Today has not been a good day, and I'm still almost 5 miles from camp. I have fallen twice, banged my knee on rebar climbing a vertical wall, and now I've got to climb this. I love hiking, but hiking is not always fun. I have been told that there's an ice cream stand with, quote, the best ice cream on the trail a couple 100 feet after I come to the road. A little ice cream right now would make the day go a whole lot better. It's after 7 o'clock. I'm about a half mile from where I'm going to camp. I still have to climb over that. All right, some days of hiking are better than others. This is one of the others. I'm not far from the camping area, so I'll close this out now. A rough day. It was definitely a rough day of hiking. Some days are going to be like that. Just wake up the next day and, try to have a better day. So I'm just about to put this one to sleep. And after I eat some food, I'm going to put me to sleep too. And wait for a better tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. I, for one, am certainly hoping for a better day today than yesterday. On the one hand, I think I have a better idea of what to expect from New York. If yesterday was any indication, the trail is not as well marked as it was in New Jersey. So I'll certainly have to be on the alert for making sure I make the right turns when necessary. But it's a sunny day. It's nice and cool. It's a brand new day. So we're off. Water caches are indispensable in areas with questionable water supplies. And as you can hear, they're often put at road crossings so that the people that do the trail maintenance can, easily get in and get out with the supplies. Much appreciated. No, I don't have to go up that. I just came down it. And sometimes coming down is just as tricky as going up. This is the beginning of the lemon squeezer. It gets very narrow. I may have to take off my pack to get through parts of it, but it's one of those iconic things on the AT, going through the lemon squeezer. Well, that was fun. First thing I did was come through a little bit, toss my trekking poles up. And then when I got to this point, I was carrying my backpack in front of me. I hoisted it up on the ledge, and then I hoisted myself up. And now we continue on. I'm about 3/10 of a mile from the shelter. Of course, it's an uphill. I don't know who's going to get there, or be there, I should say. So we'll close out the day here. Today was a rough day, but it was not a bad day at all. Got some nice waterfall footage early in the day. Did not get a lot of other video because a lot of the climbs and the descents were a hand over hand. But a good day. Good hard day on the AT. Keeping the miles coming. and looking forward to a good day tomorrow too. Good morning. This is the shelter that I stayed at last night. It is historic. It is one of the shelters that was originally constructed by the CCC. So the profile for today's hike are ups and downs, ups and downs. Well, no surprise, this is the Appalachian Trail. But the question is, not only where's the next place, there it is. The question is, what types of ups and downs? I'm not a tremendously fast hiker. In mixed terrain, I tend to hike 3 miles every 2 hours. I'm really cruisy terrain, I can do 2 miles an hour. But if it's very technical with either boulder scrambling or really, hand over hand climbing or descending, it could take me an hour, sometimes more, to cover a mile. That's kind of like what yesterday was. Some of the climbs and descents were very tricky. Took a long time to find the right footing. Thank God it's a clear day. Passes like that, when it's rainy, are really rough. So we'll see what today brings. It may be a short day. Not that I really want to do a short day, but just the distances between camping areas. The first one's in about 10 miles. As I said, that's not really as far as I want to go. But the next one is like 14 or 15 beyond that. And I don't have it in me, I don't think, to do, 20, 25 miles. Unless, of course, it turns out to be very cruisy. Well, I got a little boulder to figure out how to climb. So we're on our way. I don't know if you can hear that, but West Point is not far away. I'm wondering if they're doing some kind of artillery drill. But I've been listening to that pretty much all morning. The trail goes down and around. At least I don't have to climb that. So about 0.1 miles back, I passed another one of the historic shelters built by the CCC, but it was completely occupied by scouts. Now the 2 scout leaders were men, but all of these scouts were young ladies. They're out for an overnight. I'm wondering what the situation is going to be at the next shelter up the trail. These are things that happen on weekends. During the week, it's pretty easy for a thru hiker to get shelter space or a tent site. But on weekends, people are out enjoying nature just like I am. We'll see. And this is actually the second stairway that I've done today, or I'm about to do in this case. And this is what you get after that steep climb. A better image of the New York City skyline. 1,400 miles, alas, not for me. So that was the Palisades Parkway. And apparently, at one time, hikers had to cross it, or it was a dangerous crossing. I'm not quite sure. But what they did was, last year, they put in a temporary bypass, which I just got finished walking, so that you could cross over on this road. And now I'm just trying to find the trail again. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a white blaze on that sign. So I'm on the right track, or right trail as the case might be. was a heck of a climb. But this has got to be the view of the day. Three miles of uphill await me. I don't think it's going to all be like this, but 3 miles is 3 miles. So, how did the day end? Clearly, I am not in my tent, or actually, this could be a shelter, but it's not. Well, first off, when I did the 10 miles, it was just too early in the day to stop. I could not justify sacrificing half a day. So I pushed on. The terrain was mixed. There were parts of it that were fairly easy, but once again, there were some significant challenges, particularly towards the end of the day, climbing Bear Mountain. Now, because this is a big touristy area, they had a lot of steps built in, but you still have to climb. You still have to do the elevation, and steps up or steps down, while they're not technically challenging the way a boulder scramble is, it is actually rough on your knees. But anyways, I did the 17 miles. I certainly could not have pushed on any further. So I'm actually staying one night at a hiker-friendly motel. This really wasn't planned, but there weren't really any areas for camping, and I just cannot push on and do 20 or even 25 miles. So tomorrow we start again. The weather is supposed to be nice, and I have 2 possible shelters picked out. Once again, a short day and a longer day, but this time shelters line up pretty well. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Oh, and today is Saturday, so it's the end of the week, and I think tomorrow begins week 6, maybe. Hard to believe I've been on trail that long.